Hi everyone, welcome to our podcast once again. Today we are going to talk about plants, specifically the indoor plants that bring a lot of happiness in our life and don't require much of sunlight or water, but they still need your care. If you have ever bought a plant with good intentions and have somehow watched it slowly give up on life, this episode is definitely for you because we are going to discuss the things which are simple and realistic and will work the best for your indoor plants. How much you should care for them, how much you should water them, do they need sunlight, how much you should be because these days even in the market you might get some fertilizers or something which helps the plants grow better. Should you actually use them, and how you should be choosing the plants that fit your lifestyle, not the other way around. So let's start with the basics. Welcome, Sukhman, because you have a lot of experience. You've cared for a lot of plants, indoor and outdoors also, and you do it as a hobby as well. So I would like to ask the basic first. What actually makes a plant low maintenance, if you could tell us, and how people should choose a plant before they start on this journey?
Sure. A low maintenance plant is really just a plant that is more adaptable. So, to
Mhm,
different environmental conditions, to different temperature conditions, and is also adaptable to less care by their caretaker. So, these plants, they don't rely on perfect conditions to survive and thrive. They can tolerate a lot and they can tolerate these inconsistent watering schedules. They can also tolerate average indoor light or changes in temperature, humidity, precipitation. So they can change all of this. They can tolerate all of these rather easily than the plants that are more picky on how you treat them and their surroundings. So most low maintenance plants, they have evolved in environments with unpredictable conditions, which makes them more forgiving than indoors. So they tend to grow slowly, so they don't constantly need repotting or trimming, and
mhm,
that's a good thing for beginners who do not want to commit a lot of time caring for the plants, or rather, they do not have a good enough idea on how to care for the plants. So as a beginner, I always recommend, I have recommended this to my friends as well, to start with plants that are low maintenance, that do not require constant repotting, or not constant but frequent repotting or trimming or frequent watering, or those plants that are more forgiving, so that even if you do make a mistake, it's not end of the world. The plant will still survive and thrive. So, in
mhm.
short, they do not need constant attention. They can peacefully coexist with your lifestyle instead of having you attend to them more frequently in your day.
And what are some of the best indoor plants which people can start with? Because obviously there is a very wide variety of plants which are available, but some people love ficus, some people love ZZ plant is very popular these days. Spider plants are there, but what would you recommend if someone is starting with this?
Yeah, as you said, ZZ plants are a great start, or spider plants or snake plants, pothos. These all are considered beginner favorites, and they are considered that for a reason, because they are resilient, they are tolerable, adaptable, and they are also very clear in how they communicate stress. So
Mhm,
they can give you signs where you can understand what the plant is trying to say, and you can water them if it needs watering, or trim them if it needs trimming. So they can also handle low light well. So they will not be super. So there are some plants where you have to be very mindful of how of the light conditions, but these
mhm,
plants, they handle even handle that, or are more tolerant to low light conditions as well. If they are not put in, they do not require sunlight as much, and they don't need frequent watering as well. And if you do happen to make a mistake, if you haven't watered them in a sufficient time, and they can recover easily from those mistakes as well. So they are more forgiving, and they are easier to survive and thrive than other plants. Uh, that makes them great learning plants or beginner friendly plants, because you can observe how they respond without feeling like every small error or every small mistake that you made has led is fatal. So it's good to know that that there's always this recovery period that the plants can do, and they can recover back to their healthy normal state even after you have made a mistake. Another good thing about those plants is that they are visually rewarding, which means they're beautiful and they have that thing where people are motivated to stay engaged with them instead of sort of discouraged and not having to look at them, or they feel good watering them and having them in normal, healthy state.
Yeah, you've mentioned a very important point that people do make mistakes while either it could be over watering or not watering them enough. So it's very important in the start to have plants which are resilient to this, which can stay a few days. I guess even cactus people keep because of this one specific reason, that they don't need that much of care. But how often do you suggest that these plants should be watered, if especially the indoor ones, if you could tell us?
Yeah, I'll tell you an anecdote. What I've seen with my friends who are just starting into plants is initially they will start with overwatering. So they
Mhm.
are constantly paying attention to their plants, and they're constantly watering them and doing everything that they can, and they're committing a lot of time to caring for those plants. And over time, uh, they underwater. So after a period of time they have had those plans, they forget about them and they get busy in their schedules, and they would go even a few days without watering them, then suddenly remembering. So it's kind of this fluctuated attitude that is not good when you are trying to get into planting or gardening. And I would say on the frequency of watering, what I've seen is majority of the people, they tend to water more, so they overwater rather than underwater. And
Mhm.
that is not good because low maintenance plants do prefer their soil to dry out between waterings. So between the first and the second watering, they do want the low maintenance plants do prefer if their soil is a bit dry, has dried out, because constant moisture in the soil can actually lead to damage in their roots, and it can lead to them rotting, which we do not want. So instead of watering on a schedule, it's better. It's a good tip to check the soil to see if the soil is dry or moisture. If the soil has moisture, you do not want to water them again. You want the soil to dry out a bit before watering them uh, the next time. So if the top, let's say inch or two, it feels dry, then it's probably time to water them. If it's still damp, I would say wait for a few days, and then that would be a better thing to how to proceed. So learning to respond to a plant instead of having a marked calendar where you check out watering the plant is one of the biggest shifts that you can do, that new plant owners can make, that lead to their plants thriving better.
Okay, and that also brings us to another very important factor which people think is the sunlight. Uh, some of the plants definitely don't need direct sunlight, but people are not aware of this in case of which varieties need that and which don't need that. So, what kind of light do indoor plants really need? Please give us more information about that.
Yeah, I agree with you. Many plant owners or people who have just begun into owning plants, they assume that plants need direct sunlight, which is not true at all. Most of the indoor plants, especially, they prefer this bright, indirect sunlight. So, direct
Mhm.
sunlight, putting them on your patio or your balcony and having them have direct exposure of sunlight can actually be too intense for them. Indoor
Mhm.
plants don't need that. It can cause leaf damage as well, which we do not need. So what indoor plants really need is sort of like this indirect sunlight coming into them. And some plants, they do tolerate low light extremely well. And as I said before, that even if they do not have exposure to indirect or direct sunlight, they are okay with it. And that's why they are considered more forgiving for beginner plant owners, just because even if you do not put them in sunlight every day or give them a lot of light, they can adapt to it, and they do tolerate it extremely well. And it makes them ideal then for apartments or rooms without large windows. So it's good. I would say the key is to choose a plant that matches your space. If you have an apartment, you do not have much exposure to sunlight, you want to choose the plants that can handle low light extremely well. If you do have exposure to that, then you can go for outdoor plants as well. If you have a good balcony with sun exposure, I would say go for outdoor plants. If you do not have that, indoor plants is a really good idea. Key is choosing your plants that match your apartment space or home space, instead of sort of choosing the plant based on your whim and then putting it or forcing it into a condition that it's not meant to survive in, and it's not a
Yeah.
realistic condition for the plant to survive in.
Mhm.
Once you figure out the light, plant care becomes much more simpler.
Yeah, definitely. People need to do some research, even if it's basic research about what is suitable for their homes. And what is that one simple habit that keeps the plants stay longer for with you? So, because obviously not all the varieties are the same, some have different needs. So, people, if they are not aware, what is the one most simple thing which they should be caring about so that they don't kill the plants when they take them home?
Yeah, as I said before, I think the beginner friendly plants are for those plants or low maintenance plants, they are much more adaptable. So, and they are much more responsive. So they will let you know when they are not well, and they will let you know when they are doing well. So, what you want to do as a plant owner is to pay attention to those cues. But you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to hover around it and all the time thinking about them or
Yeah.
doing something to them. You want to leave them alone, give them some space to grow. But notice changes. Notice these changes when the plant is trying to tell you. Notice, let's say, yellow leaves, or if the soil is too dry, if they are not growing as much as they should be growing. These things help in overall long term. They help a lot in helping you understand their cues and helping you take care of them better. So you don't need to fix everything immediately. You don't want to attend to it right away. Plants will communicate it pretty clearly if something is off. And if something is off, then you need to fix it. But they don't need fixing all the time. So don't hover around them. Pay attention to them if they are telling you something, but not always watering them or constantly watering them, not always kind of thinking or tweaking them or twisting them here and there and be like, oh, I think this is wrong or that is wrong. No, let them give them space, let them thrive, and they will. So goal is not perfection, but again, more consistency. So you don't want a fluctuating behavior of attention that you provide them, where you overwater for a few days and then not water at all for another few days. You don't want that. You want a consistent schedule where you water them, take care of them, trim them, uh, but not perfection where you do everything. And I would just say a little awareness to their cues. that beats this constant intervention or disturbance to them. So that will help you help your plant stay in a healthy environment and to thrive and survive much easily than constantly hovering around them or giving them constant intervention. At the long term, you basically want a plant that's healthy, and that should be your goal.
Okay, thanks a lot for sharing all this information because it's important for people to know what is suitable for their specific conditions and their lifestyle as well. So that's our take on low maintenance indoor plants. Bringing plants into your space doesn't have to be stressful or complicated. You just need to follow very few basic rules, and you should not overwater them. You should also care about the light which they should get. In most of the cases, indoor plants don't need direct sunlight, which you should be very careful about because the leaves can burn, the plant can get stressed if you leave it in the sun. Direct sunlight is not good for most of them. And with the right choices and a simple routine, plants can be something that adds calm rather than pressure to your day. And start small, pick up the plants that suitable for your lifestyle, give them their time, give them the care which they need, and definitely they'll stay with you for many many years. And even a lot of varieties of plants are creating new smaller plants which you can replant into another pots, or you can gift them to your friends. And this brings us to the end of this small episode for the indoor plants and how you can care for them and how you can use them on different stands which can be moved here and there easily. Thanks for listening, and we hope that this will give you more confidence into bringing the more green into your lives, because obviously they cheer us up, they change the ambience of the room, they are very helpful in keeping you calm, relaxed. And obviously, if you have some plants which are even having once in a while, they have flowering season, that's additional icing on the cake. And thanks a lot for joining us today. Thanks, Sukhman, for sharing all this valuable information with us. We'll look forward to you talking to you in our next podcast. Thanks, everyone.